All right, folks, welcome back to your favorite D2C podcast. I'm here with the man with the plan. I see him at all the events, the smile, the energy, the man behind the magic that is Incense, Danil Saliukov. Did I hit it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was nervous. I was nervous. Danil, you're one of my favorite humans. I'm so glad we got to do this. You are hailing from the Big Apple. You have this beautiful apartment, wonderful views, wonderful chair. How did you get here? I actually don't know the whole story about. Well, I guess first off, how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Oh, great question. And it's actually in many ways connected with the story of Incense. So I founded Incense together with my brother, but it's
What?
not the first venture that we created. And actually, the first venture, it was my first taste of the entrepreneurship together with my brother back at the university times. So I was the first course, just started my uni, and my brother was third course. So and then we met with a business partner. He was also at the university, and he was saying that, hey guys, like here's the great opportunity. Let's sell ads on the at the like a placements at the homes, like the big flat apartment. So
Yeah.
and he was saying like, okay, let's build a slots. It wasn't like not digital 100%. So but still we were, it's a great opportunity. So we just shaped the sales team between the lessons. We were just going back to the office. Educate our sales team how to make the calls, doing the calls ourselves, and we expanded the presence of this business like by 6 times, and it was pretty solid business. And I was a manager when I was age, what is it, 19,
Wow.
18. So
Oh my
I was a
gosh.
manager of 5 people, and all of them, they were older than me, more experienced than me, and I had like zero experience, and I was just believe in what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Read the
So
chapter ahead of them,
yeah, and
basically.
and then we got the offer. So the third exit was within 2 years of launching this business. So not a lot of money, some money, right? But that was a taste of the entrepreneurship. And then I used to work in the startup company, and then I joined the corporation listed on Nasdaq in e-payments space. But then my brother stayed and was always entrepreneur, and he's really passionate about this. He truly believes in that. He wants to help other entrepreneurs, and he ran a couple of e-commerce shops. Successfully exited both. Again, not a lot of money, some money,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then he founded his own social media boutique agency back in the days, 10 years ago, and he
Yeah.
figured out that influencer content, like a human produced content, is
Yep.
going to outperform the any other content.
Yep.
Back in the days, influencer marketing and paid social, they were completely disconnected worlds, right? Like it
100%.
was just people in the same corporations, like those teams never spoke to each other. They never knew about existence of those teams, right? So that was kind of the vibe. And my brother was really damn great in paid advertising, early days of Facebook. So he knew like how to run the ads and so on.
Yeah.
And he started shaping his own Google spreadsheets with influencers, videographers, those people who are able to produce great content. Back in
Yeah.
and measure just send the messages with his team, like on Skype or wherever, like the messengers were back in the times. And then he found that the entire process wasn't that efficient, and he pitched me this idea of building a marketplace and a platform, and that's the second venture that we're co-creating with my brother.
That's amazing. That's an amazing ride. What have been some of the either frameworks or books or essays or people you follow that has helped kind of become a better leader, a better entrepreneur, things like that?
Yeah, I remember back in the days, I was reading Guy Kawasaki
Yeah.
about yeah, I think like this is kind of like a bestseller.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're going to be reading that, it's going to be a bit silly or maybe outdated. But back in the days, it's um, helped me to find my passion about entrepreneurship
Yeah.
and building the all like passive income.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm trying to do. I think that may in many ways shape me as the entrepreneur,
Mm.
because entrepreneur for me is a person who disagree with something, and he
Yes.
sees that something should be and must be optimized, must be, even though, right, he
Yeah.
just disagree with the ways how it works right now, and he's truly passionate about some problem to solve that, right, and in the end of the day make some profits out of this,
Of
because if you are
course.
not making profits, like how are you able to scale and continue fighting for the vision that you have? So that was the book that I was I'm still remember, even though, like, if I'm going to be reread this these days, I think I will find this a bit silly and clearly outdated.
No, I had. Well, yeah, he kind of lost the plot a little bit. Rich Dad Poor Dad was a really helpful for me as well, but now he kind of went off the deep end, which is it's interesting. But back in the day, it was really powerful. Yeah, I have the same thing where Atlas Shrugged was like a really seminal like, and I went back and read it a few years ago. I was like, I mean, it's okay, but like, I
Right.
think like at the right time with the right book, there's just this thing that happens that's magic. But then you recommend the book to a friend or something like that at a different stage in your life, and you're like, oh man, what are you talking about here? So
Yeah.
I could totally relate to that because I was very very similar. What have been some of the challenges or kind of unknowns that you've encountered with, because second venture, you kind of have a little bit of your feet under you, you're definitely a little bit younger, but the experience that you got managing people, doing all this, you were also, I think one of the more important things is being the ICP for the ideal customer profile for the people following along at home for the business you're building. I think is so important. That
Oh
was
yeah.
one of the cheat codes I had when I was at Triple Whale, where I was the user. So it was very easy to empathize. It was very easy to understand what I would want, how I would use it. And you and your brother were the user for this. But was there any kind of things where you're just like, oh my gosh, like the unknown unknowns or any kind of weird events that happen that really stick out to you?
Yeah. I'm ready to share my fails or wrong beliefs when we started the business. Look, I was building my successful corporate career, right?
Yeah.
I got promotion almost every 6 9 months.
Yeah.
When I um, quit with this corporate job to found Incense, I was a manager. I was a head of department managing two big verticals, online games and digital content in
Yeah.
e-payments companies. So basically, I was overseeing companies like Facebook, Google, Riot Games, Electronic Arts. So and 13% of net revenue of the company. That was something that I
Under
was
you.
in charge of,
Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
company was valued at $1 billion
Yeah.
dollars. Right? It's
Not
a
nothing.
pretty, yeah. It's a big one, right?
Yeah.
So but then my brother pitched the idea and said like, hey, building a platform, helping other entrepreneurs, because I found myself it's not easy process. It's really hard to find people who are able to produce great content for ads. There are
Yes.
so many influencer marketing platforms, but there are no platform that help you primarily resolve the key thing is how to produce content for ads, and then like
Yes.
the rest it could be nice and so on. So let's build the platform. I know 100% that some people need content and they're ready to pay, and there are people who are ready to produce the content and get
Yeah.
paid. So easy to match. So that was the mistake number one. We thought like it's so easy to build marketplace. We had
Yeah.
no idea about building a marketplace. It's a long run game. We've been building Incense for 8 years. We're
Yeah.
still
Oh,
at
wow. I did not know
early
that old.
days.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's 8 years. And that's the whole point, because building a marketplace is a way different from SaaS business.
Yep.
Even though like Incense is a SaaS enabled marketplace, so we have the components of SaaS, we have a marketplace as the core engine. At the same time, building a marketplace is so damn fucking hard,
It's very
to
hard.
be honest, because you're building two products or two
Yep.
businesses under the roof of one, and
Yep.
you're trying to match between each other. So
Yep.
we were saying that our customers are not only e-commerce brands or agencies, it's also our creators. Yes, they're not paying us any money, so like they actually only got money from Incense, right, like from
Yep.
from the clients.
Yep.
Though at the same time, you need to care about them, you need to make sure that they're going to be satisfied with your
Yes.
product, they need to be heard, and so on. And you need to identify not only ideal customers profile from the demand side, not only what kind of e-commerce brands you want to go for, but also what kind of the creators you want to go for,
Yes.
and then build a product for them, and then supply liquidity, demand liquidity, supply demand balance. There are like so many things that we never knew early days. And if I'll ask myself, would I be ready to go for it 8 years ago? I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Because from one hand, it's fun building a marketplace, and I am enjoying it a lot right now. But early days, the first 3 years, we haven't seen barely like transaction that is happening on the marketplace. Like, and seeing that,
Yes.
oh, the GMV of the marketplace have been $1,000. $1,000. Do you know how much we earn? $100.
Yeah.
Wow, great business, right? So I was asking myself, like, why I'm
What did I
here,
do?
what I'm
Yes.
doing, right? So that was the failure number one. So like it's not the failure, but this is the kind of something that you never knew when you're launching the business, where it's going to be pivoted, and like what you need to learn and be ready for building this, right? Because I heard so many stories that you need to pivot it a few times, and then only in 3-5 years you will see that, yeah, this is something that I can call business. So
Yes.
gladly we can call business
Yes.
right now, but back in the days it wasn't the case.
Yeah. It is weird how I actually just tweeted this, but it's happens slower than you think and then faster than you think. And you just have
Yeah,
to, I think that's one of the most interesting things about entrepreneurs is perseverance. Like there's just, come hell or high water, I'm going to make this thing work. And like, that's a great attitude to a point, right? Like if you
yeah,
keep bumping up against the wall, then it's like, there's another saying, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But yeah, you jumped right into expert mode because a two-sided marketplace is one of the hardest things to build. Because to your point, you're not only having to generate the demand, but then you have to build the supply on the other side, and
yeah.
then you have to
Match them.
match people and find some sort of equilibrium that will clear the market. And like it's very sophisticated. I mean, the Ubers of the world, the Airbnbs, like it's a lot of work. And again, it's just so much sophistication in the business model versus, hey, I have a thing and I'm going to go find it to sell to people. Like it's very complicated. So I mean, kudos to you. When did you guys start thinking about raising money, and what was that experience like? Because I hear two sides of or two different stories. Like, oh, just bootstrap it versus, oh, you should always raise. And I don't know. I land in both camps. I think both people are right. Like sometimes it is great to bootstrap if you have a certain vision and you don't really want to build this $1 billion company or whatever. And sometimes it's like, hey man, especially in like a B2B SaaS motion, especially in a dual-sided marketplace, you need capital to get to kind of that critical mass that you can then start spitting off cash.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I found myself that I'm supporting both camps, and
Yeah,
moreover, early days we bootstrapped, so
love that.
just making some money as the kind of like agency mode rather than purely technology and so on. But
Yep.
learning the things and talking to customers and driving these transactions through us, that help us to learn a lot. But at the same time. We realized that being a marketplace, we need to get some capital to build the
Yes.
foundations. In
Yes.
marketplaces, they need to be fueled by capital, and the
Yep.
more fuel you can bring, the higher scale you can bring.
Yes.
I truly believe that if we got the capital right now, like 20-30 mil, we're going to be at absolutely different level, because
Yeah.
we know how to fuel this capital. But back in the days, it wasn't the case. And Uber, Airbnb, they are so big not only because of they were able to raise capital,
Yes.
but in many ways because of that, because they can
Yeah.
incentivize some of the sites, and in that case it helps you to build some supply or attract demand, so whatever. But at the same time, what I found that some of the businesses in our space, I'm truly fascinating by those founders that they were able to build that, and they're still bootstrapping. Like Zach
Yes.
from Foreplay, great
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
Noah from Social Snowball,
Oh,
great
Noah's
friends,
killing it.
and
Yeah.
I absolutely fan of their businesses and
Yes.
them as the founders, because they haven't got any funds so far, and then they completely bootstrapped and have built pretty solid businesses and continue
Yes.
growing and crushing. Yeah, it's awesome. I would say if you're building B2B SaaS, early days, you possibly can bootstrapped, especially if
Yes.
you're not focusing on enterprise
Yes.
and enterprise sales, because enterprise sales it's a way harder.
Yeah.
But for the like a smaller business or like mid market, 100% you can bootstrap. And we decided, answer to a question, when we decided to raise the capital, actually almost at the beginning, though we failed to raise,
Yeah.
we have heard many no's. They were
Yeah.
saying that, oh, we don't believe we are able to build a marketplace, or we're
Yeah.
investing only in SaaS marketplace.
Yeah.
It's not something interesting for us. So many no's, but it helped me to only prove our point that there
Yeah.
is something is going on here. And then at certain point, once we have built the foundation, we decided to go for fundraise. We raised from the angels, then we have done the raise from the e-commerce community. So
Yeah.
many
Love that.
folks in the
Yes.
space, they invested us, like Nick Shacklefold,
Yeah.
James,
Jim.
James, like all of the
Yeah.
folks like from the community, Ron
Yeah.
and Ash from Obvi, like those
Yeah.
folks who invested in us and truly believe, it's actually inspired us. So I would say instead of considering only venture capital, try to consider to raise from the community and from your own customers. That's what
Yes.
happened with us. And I would say this is the smartest money that you can ever possibly found, because with all respect to venture capitals, many of those people, they never run any e-commerce shop, any even SaaS business or marketplace, so they don't have this experience. I would say bring them for the scale, because then they could be a great advice for you about the
That's
data,
beautifully
about
put.
connections and all of the stuff. But early days, I think finding those people in the space that you're creating the product is going to be the best, or just bootstrap like Noah or
Yes.
Zach. So and let's
Yes.
go.
Yes. No, I love that. And I think you're nail on the head where um, if you don't need to go up market, and honestly, I don't know, unless you're in some sort of weird niche or something like that, going enterprise first is really difficult
Oh my God,
for a
yes.
myriad of reasons. One, the sales cycles are longer. Two, the sophistication of the deals and the contracts and the things like that. Like there's pros and cons, but enterprise is really hard. The other thing is you can get jerked around by enterprise, especially if you're a small business and say, this one client makes up 33% of your book or something like that. And they say,
Yeah.
hey, I want this. Hey, I want that. And you almost become a custom dev shop for them rather than building your vision and serving the majority of clients that you really know you can make an impact with. Because I've seen that time and time again where you get into this really weird place of having to serve one master instead of serving the population that is actually going to feed you, and it gets into some weird places. I've also had the same experience with um, nothing against VC, but I think there's a lot of VCs that just got really lucky, made a bunch of money, and then when somebody puts $5-10 million in your business, it's hard to like tell them they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? You just have to like
Yeah.
smile and nod and like, oh, that's a great idea, even though in your head you're like, that makes no sense. You're giving me like D2C ideas, very like you should seed product. Like, how am I going to seed software? What are you
Right.
guys talking about? You know what I mean? Like it's just, especially when like D2C and B2B SaaS are just orthogonal business models. I mean, they couldn't be more different, and you can get into some weird places there, but Yeah, I
But
completely agree. And
you know what, like you can find those VCs. There are not that many, like Mu Ventures, I think, like that's the name, Mu Ventures.
mhm,
So the founder, he actually ran a e-commerce himself, and
yeah,
then the agency, so he knows the
he
drill.
gets it. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets it. That's why it's so easy to pitch him. Whenever like didn't ended up like our investor, though, like I had a huge respect, and I know a couple of portfolio companies,
Yeah.
and then I know Gary. He knows the thing, like, and you don't need to pitch him. You
Yes.
need to tell the story and what is the
Yes.
problem you're solving and how you're solving, and then he gets
Yes.
that. And then
Yes.
yeah, try to find those folks. There are those folks who have built something and they know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I also love the idea of just bootstrapping it, because the one thing I find so paradoxical about raising money is that when you need money, nobody wants to give you money. And when you don't
Yeah,
need money, everybody wants to give you money. And you're
exactly.
like, this is just so backwards. Like, I don't get it. That's amazing. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and nerd out kind of on Incense, influencer marketing. For people that don't know about Incense, give them the elevator pitch. What is it? How do they use
Uh,
it?
Incense is a creator commerce marketplace that helps e-commerce brands and agencies to get connected with UGC creators and micro influencers at scale,
Yeah.
for a couple of reasons. One of them is how to improve ad performance
Yep.
by getting UGC ads as well as the whitelisted ads. So those connection that they are we facilitate. And the second one is how to scale influencer programs,
Yeah.
including product seeding campaigns and affiliate campaigns like TikTok Shop, or not only. So basically, the vision for the company is merging organic and paid strategies
Yeah.
in creator marketing for e-commerce. It's as simple as it is.
I
As it
love
is.
that.
We want to be just a one-stop shop. I hate like this one-stop shop, but anyway, so one-stop shop. Whenever you have something for creator marketing, when it comes to organic and paid strategies, you can execute that on Insense when it comes to the collaborations with the creators.
I love that. So basically, hey, I want to start running ads through influencers, micro, etc., but I don't want to have to do all the work. So I can just come to your platform, give you the money, you facilitate the connections, I get the deliverables, I can run the ads, I can pay them a little bit more to whitelist the ads on their accounts, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah, and then you're launching Amazon and you need to drive traffic to increase the product search or getting Amazon reviews. Go for it, work with influencers on that. Or you're launching TikTok Shop. You need to find
Yes.
affiliate influencers. You can do that. You need content for your TikTok Shop for your own account. You can produce just the content on Incense. So whenever destination it comes to produce content by creators and or getting some influencer posts, you can find and yeah, so just a multi-purpose platform.
Ooh, I love that. Not a one-stop shop, a multi-purpose platform. That's beautiful.
Exactly.
What have you seen the patterns for the most successful people on Incense on the brand side, not necessarily the influencer side? And what are some of the pitfalls or mistakes that you've seen people make that when they do join Incense they can avoid?
The most successful are, let me describe with a few cases, if you will.
Of
So
course.
those people who are coming for us with keep in mind marketers approaching the influencer marketing and creator marketing in general as a market research. So those
Yes.
people who are ready to test a lot of hypotheses and not having just one idea that they need to execute the platform. So those people are really successful. The second one is those who are leveraging Incense and multi purpose dimensions. So
Yeah.
they're not coming only for UGC, but they're using for whitelisted ads and scaling that because it's so easy. And then
Yes.
they also have the Amazon shop, or they're about to launch TikTok shop. So
Yeah.
they can use Incense for multiple platforms for multiple purposes. That's the second one. The third one is those brands who are not super seasonal,
Yes.
or they're ready to play long. Let's put it like that. So, and they are not that seasonal. So they not coming to the platform where they keep in mind, oh, we haven't done anything with influencers ever. Let's test it out for 1 month.
Right.
Well, I can say them for 1 month, it's going to be failure.
Yeah.
you wouldn't find any success, or it's going to be the luck of almost these VCs.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
it's just a
Yes.
you were lucky one to find the success, because influencer marketing and approaching and work with the creators is a long run. So you need to keep in mind that test that for 6-12 months until you can
Yes.
make decision whether it's working for you or not. Most probably it's going to work, otherwise it's not going to be that popular right now, but still. And seasonal products, so those who have only one or couple of months of um, during the year. So
Yes.
unfortunately, we cannot help them between the seasons until they launch a new product that is going to be covering up. So
Exactly.
those are the most successful. The ones who are not that successful is completely opposite of what I was naming.
Exactly.
But also I would add there is those folks who are don't have any creative strategy.
Right.
They have no idea. They were saying that, oh, I found a great UGC and Obvi is using that. I went to Foreplay. I download this UGC. I want your creators to produce the same UGC, but talking about my brand.
Yes.
Stupid.
Yes.
It's wrong. You need to come up with your own idea. You can use inspirations from the most successful brands, but at the same time, you need to keep in mind that it's your creative strategy. So creative strategy is in the first place. The second one is those people who are coming and they don't have any workforce to manage the relations with influencers, because it's still working with the freelancers. And whenever I'm hearing that a founder is coming towards us and saying like, hey guys, I'm ready to subscribe, and then we're saying that, okay, who's going to be managing the platform? And he was saying, I'm going to be managing. And we say like, for how long? Oh, I'm going to be managing for the next 12 months. And I'm saying like, okay, this is the churn customer, because you need to deal with the supply chain. You need to deal with the pricing. You need to deal with so many questions. Like chatting with the influencers, it's not even all your marketing. It's a piece of your marketing. So it just doesn't make sense for you to work for that. And those brands who are super niche, they're coming and they're saying that we have the a Shopify store for automotive repairs, repair parts. And then how many influencers you can find for that? I mean, I'm not sure. Like maybe there are like 100 of them.
10, yeah.
And
100.
how many on Incense? It's like one. So it just doesn't make sense for coming for us. Or those who are coming and saying that, oh, I need just one UGC creator from Incense. Well, you have to pay a subscription, $500, and then paying to influencer. Just like from the math perspective, it just doesn't that just doesn't work. And then we're saying like, hey, do not use Incense, do not subscribe. We're going to be like, moreover, I remember myself, I was seeing the person that I pitched the product, and then I learned that he needs only to hire one UGC creator. So what I have done, I was just like went to his plan, and I'm canceling this plan and refunding the money, saying that, dude, it's going to be completely waste of time. Just use Twitter, or like I to be honest, like I provided some creator profiles to him just to reach out directly, because it just doesn't make sense.
No. Do you see any patterns across like verticals or price points? So like, for example, like health or beauty or supplements or apparel. And then do you see any price point correlation in terms of like, under $50, under $100, kind of things like that?
Yeah. From the price standpoint, I would say the more luxury your brand, or the higher AOV, the harder the game will become for you, because you need to ship your product, because it's e-commerce, it's a physical goods, right? You need to ship your product. And then,
saying yes.
Do you know Ben Schreiber?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Benny, good friend, and he's running the whole like digital ads for Letico. That's the brand. It's leather bags and other goods. They're very nice, but he's not in a luxury space. But the bag costs like $200, and then you need to seed this product to creators. It's expensive, right? So I would say those brands that under like $200, it's a more easy play, right? Because in that case, or at least those projects should be high margin. So retail
Yes.
price might be 200,
Yes.
though
Exactly.
like the cost of producing this is let's say 30 bucks.
50 or
So in
something.
that case,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's going to be make sense for you. From the vertical standpoint, I would say what actually works: beauty, health and wellness,
Yep.
supplement,
Yep.
pets, and like all pet care,
Yep.
kids and family. Um,
Interesting. That makes
yeah, I
sense.
would
I can see
say
that.
I would say those verticals are crushing. I would say apparel, unfortunately, it doesn't work really well for us. And the reason what we found that many apparel brands, they are not performance first, not like a
Yes.
true classic, like
Right.
those folks are
Yeah.
great, but many of those folks, they're coming with a background working at I don't know, Zara or
Yeah.
Abercrombie and Fitch, and that's the mindset that they have, that they are looking at the aesthetics of
Yes.
the influencer rather
Yes.
than the performance of the
Yes.
creative that they can produce. So and they found that, oh, aesthetically they are not that who cares if
Yes.
it's driving the sales, if it's not damaging your brand, who
Yes.
cares? Like
Yes.
it should be something fun. And other friend of ours who was saying the ugly ads,
Yes.
so the
Very
uglier the better.
powerful that.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So that's the rule that actually works. So you need to produce some, I wouldn't say ugly or entertaining content, but sometimes those apparel brands, they found that, oh, it's not for our brand guidelines,
On
and
brand
then
or whatever. Yeah.
on brand, yeah, it's not on brand, and we need to find more aesthetically pleasing influencers with the Instagram feed that is going to be look like
What we
more
want.
fancy,
Yeah.
and it's
That's
just like
so interesting.
it's okay that we're not for you.
Yeah, that's so interesting because yeah, I used to work at my past life. I ran an agency and then worked at an agency, and you would have these brands that it would basically be like that, where it's like, dude, this ad is crushing, but is not on brand. And then basically, I'd just go to them and be like, hey, what do you guys think of this? Because it's driving a bunch of performance, and like, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Is kind of the
Exactly.
thing for me, where it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, it's your money, we'll spend it how you want. But that makes a ton of sense. I see that a lot, and I honestly, outside of the like literal luxury, I don't really agree with that at all. I think you should do whatever drives a bunch of performance. When a lot of your brand equity is driving your performance, then it's like, okay, cool, we need to keep on brand. Like, we don't run sales, we don't do that kind of stuff. Totally get it. But these mid-tier brands masquerading as like proper luxury, like, you're not Hermes, you're not Louis
Yeah.
Vuitton, like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not Gucci. It's okay, you can make a bunch of money, and like,
Exactly.
and sometimes it becomes even more relatable, in my opinion, where you can see people that like it's not only aspirational, but you can be like, hey, oh, that person looks like me, and like, okay, cool, and I can relate to that person, I should buy the thing. That's so fascinating. Okay,
Yeah.
a selfish question. Do you guys have any thoughts on spinning out like a B2B SaaS type of offering?
Um.
Because there's
You
the
know
same
what?
issue, right? It's the same
Yeah.
issue that we have. We can't do the seeding like you said, but we can quasi seed product and stuff like that. And it is so hard to find really good users that want to talk about your product, that want to do this, that know the product. Like, it's pretty much the exact same issues that most D2C founders deal with.
100%, and we are in your shoes also. We're in the
Exactly,
same,
right?
so right.
Yeah.
um, you know what, this idea been around for literally years. We
Yeah.
found that there is a massive opportunity for that,
Yes.
but then the problem is, and you know that with your experience with Triple Whale and
Yeah.
Fermat, focus is everything.
Focus is
Once you
everything.
lose the
Very well
focus,
said.
it's just like it's done. You're done, and it's really hard to get back that. And that's why I don't have time to, and my team doesn't have time to spin off this as much as we would love to. That's number one. And the second reason, once we challenge that, we realize that we are, when it comes to the social media platforms that we're working with,
Yes.
they are more visual media first rather than
Yes.
text first. And I think
Yes.
for B2B SaaS, what is crushing is especially B2B, especially for B2B SaaS, it's a text first
Yes.
platform such as LinkedIn or Twitter. Yes, you need to
Yes.
have some static images or videos, but at the same time, text is enough. And for
Yes.
us, it should be changing some of the workflows. It's not that difficult for us because we already have built something.
With
But again,
technology, yeah.
focus is everything, and we are stand here for e-commerce. That was the problem why we started Incense, and we are still chasing for this market. Maybe for the next run, like
Yes.
maybe once I'm going to be
spin-off,
exited
a new business,
Incense,
parallel
maybe a
business.
new business like in
Yeah.
that area. Why not?
Incense B2B, and you can spin off and just port the tech over.
Exactly.
It's funny. So I had Noah on like 4 or 5 episodes ago, and I
Uh-huh.
asked him the same thing because I think Social Snowball would crush for
Yeah.
affiliates. Like in B2B
100%.
SaaS, like there's a partnerships affiliates, and that space is just so ripe for disruption. And he gave me the exact same answer. He was like, dude, I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's an absolute money ball that we could go get, but I have to stay focused. I have to keep building and driving down this path, because the second you get shiny object syndrome, like everything starts to break, and then you get into
Maybe
the worst of both situations.
maybe we both exited our businesses and co-found the
Just
thing like with
combine it.
Noah.
You have the
I
UGC,
love Noah.
you have
Noah
the
is great.
affiliate, you have the
Exactly. Let's go.
partnerships, you have this just like
I know
ecosystem that you can
marketplace.
just
He
plug
knows
in.
SaaS, and just like let's
Just
go for it.
yeah. See, we're birthing businesses here. Okay, what are you excited about for what Incense is launching? Is there any cool upcoming features that you're really stoked about?
Yes, that's the great momentum. Actually, to have me on your podcast to share, because we haven't shared that with the entire market, but I'll
Oh,
spoil
let's go.
a
Spill
few
the tea.
spoilers. So, a few exciting things. One of them, we are working on the great automation of creative brief by Gen AI.
Ooh, I
So
love
basically,
this.
you can plug it in. How to put that? So this is the project that we're co-creating with Google. You can plug it in your consumer reviews on Amazon, on Trustpilot, some information about your product, and then we came up with the entire creative brief. Not only hooks, not only call to actions, but entire creative brief
Wow.
that you can edit. And we're not saying that it's good to go right away. No,
Yeah.
we truly believe that Gen AI should empower your decision,
Yes.
but it's your
Yes.
decision.
Yes.
So this is number one, and this is something in the alpha version right now. So we are working with Gemini and Google on this, and
Wow.
it's been fascinating directly with their team. I'm going to be in their office tomorrow. We're discussing the next thing that we're going to be building together.
Very cool.
So expect that to be released soon for everyone. That's number one. Secondly, we are launched our TikTok Shop app. So
Really?
yes. So
That is cool.
and I think we're going to be the first creator marketplace who is going to be launching as the app. So right now we
That's
are
cool.
the first 10 creator companies or affiliate companies in this space, like Social
Yes.
Snowball, for instance. They were in the first batch, same as we are. Yeah, so for the TikTok Shop app, what you can do, you can install this app, and then you can authorize as a seller on Incense.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be matching only with those creators who confirm that they have TikTok Shop. And you would be able to pull all data like GMV, units sold as they're reporting back to the platform and seeing the performance. Also working on TikTok Shop on this because we became a partner back in February. So one of the most fascinating teams that we have been working with. So this is also in closed beta. Lastly, we are working on the product that will allow you to reach out almost any influencer in the world.
Oh, wow.
So in an easy way, and you can reach out to them and continue working on them on Incense. With the same workflows that you currently working with them as being the part of the vetted marketplace. So those three major releases that we are cooking on right now.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a
A lot
lot
of
of really
stuff.
exciting stuff. And I completely agree with your AI take. I think that um, AI can take basically a bunch of putty and sculpt it, and then you can finish the sculpture in whatever way you want, versus having to take that putty and sculpt it from calf to cow. I think is a lot of work. The other thing is, I think AI. A really smart buddy of mine said this, and it's always stuck with me. Where he said, AI writing is really cool, but AI's ability to read is even cooler because you can take all these just disparate data sets and schema them like, okay, cool, I can take all these reviews, I can do all this stuff and put it all in my head. And I can say, hey, give me this, that, or the other, analyze the sentiment, do these things that would previously take a really long time. And candidly, we're pretty just much not accessible because like you would have to have all this psychological knowledge or all these keywords and stuff like that versus just a few little prompts and boom, here you go. Here's a really good creative brief. You tighten it up and it gets 90% there and then you finish the last 10%. I think it's a
Yeah.
really interesting idea, man. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and we have been testing that, and it's cool. It's literally cool. It's makes our creative strategist say like, "Wow,"
Yes,
because it
definitely.
saves tons of the time, and then the last touch by human to make sure that it's
Beautiful.
ready to go live to creators. But you are not going to be spending a couple of hours by pulling the data, finding the bullet points of what you should be talking about,
Exactly
pain
right.
points, why your product is being loved by your consumers, all of the stuff. So it's going to be all automated.
Dude, I love that. Um, One last question and then one last question. So I guess second to last question. How do you suggest people that are running an influencer strategy for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or if they have a heavy gifting vertical in December? Are there any tips or anything that you would recommend in how they do that? Should they get on Incense now, start getting the content? Like, do you guys see an influx as Black Friday, Cyber Monday comes in? Or too long didn't read. I'm a brand. I think
Yeah.
Incense is amazing. I want to start delving into influencer content more for my brand. Should I do it for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Should I do it if I have a heavy gifting vertical in December? Like, what advice would you give to people out there about that?
100% you should. And moreover, we will be working on the ebook together with Refunnel and Social Snowball. And I think a couple of more partners exactly talking about this.
Oh, I
And
love it.
hopefully it's going to be released really soon. But the point is that, yes, 100% you should. And the reason is simple. First of all, like Meta screwed up us early this year, like the entire e-commerce
Yes.
space, right? A few times. We are not in a safe zone that it's something will be happening during the Black Friday,
Yeah.
Cyber Monday on December. That's number one. The second one is that even though everything is going to be working as it right now, which is stable, it's predictable, still the CPMs are going to be crazy.
Yes.
It's the high season,
Yes.
everyone go all in and so on.
Yes.
You will go all in. So in that case, what does it mean? That you need to find the alternative for you. And when I'm saying alternatives, you should explore Snap advertising. You should
Yes.
explore Pinterest. You should
Yep.
explore Reddit. You should be exploring different platforms. That's now number one. So diversify. But the second one, influencer marketing and affiliate programs and seeding programs could be a great lever how to buy media or awareness without getting the CPM had been increased on the
Yes.
main platforms such as Meta Ads platform, right? So this is the great way for you to diversify your budgets and still finding the success because the way how the marketing works, it's top of the funnel, mid funnel, and low funnel, right?
Yes.
So launching the ads with the higher CPMs on the top of the funnel, it's going to be pretty much costly. You need to
Yes.
lever that for more like a mid and low funnel. So, but the top of the funnel, it could be influencer marketing. You can build a brand awareness. You can still running seeding campaigns, and if it's executed in the right way, you can get really fascinating results. As well as you can drive affiliate programs using Social Snowball and Incense in a mix of that, finding those people on Incense, leveraging Social Snowball as
Yes.
the technology to generate the links
Yes.
and so on, and then having the fascinating results. Or you should be also exploring TikTok Shop.
Yep.
TikTok Shop, many folks, they're thinking about it's only as the revenue generated marketplace, which is true, and it could be, and you can crush there. But at the same time, what TikTok Shop does is open up to the new audience that you couldn't reach on Meta or Amazon or wherever. So
Yes.
it's you can find a new audience for your brand, and then they might come back to Amazon and purchase your product or D2C. Meaning that TikTok Shop and influencers could be a great destination to tapping in right away.
I love that. I guess one last question because you inspired a thought. Do you guys have anybody that, or I guess, what's your take on live shopping? I was so bullish on live shopping because usually China's in front, right? Like usually
Yeah.
China's ahead of the DTC, and then whatever China's doing, it hits kind of the West, or in particular the States and Canada, 1 or 2 years later. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to go crazy. And it's been okay, but it hasn't been the kind of absolute phenomenon that it has been in the East, and specific in China. Do you think live shopping is ever going to make it to the States? And then are you guys looking to empower people to be able to hire like Incense users to do live shopping for them?
Yeah, look, I was at the TikTok Shop Partner Summit, first ever,
Yes.
in at least like in North America, in LA, a month ago or so. 40% of the content were about live shopping.
Live shopping.
They
I'm so
yeah,
bullish on it, but it just hasn't hit yet. Like, or maybe I'm just
it
in my bubble, but like
it hasn't.
it hasn't hit,
It
right?
hasn't.
Okay.
It hasn't yet. I know a few brands they're crushing on live shopping. They figure
Yeah.
out. I think the adoption it's taking a lot of time. It's longer. They brought a lot of live shopping agencies
Yes.
who has studios. They rent out like the full space in Los Angeles, in Hollywood or Santa
God. Okay.
Monica,
Yeah.
and then they urge companies like Incense or TikTok Shop agencies to partner up with those folks
To find the people.
to find the people, to find the host. And you know
Mhm.
what? With a host, it shouldn't be influencer. It could be anyone. Rabba could be
Right.
a host
Right.
of live shopping. Because you
Yep.
you you know how, dude. Like you can say about sneakers. Like
Yes.
you are
Live shop some
the
sneakers.
100%. Like I would hire you as a host because you can crush there, and you need to find like the business model that a host is going to be incentivized and
That's
being
a good
really
point.
interested. And then like
Because
yeah, it's you need to prepare like the room, you need to prepare the light for
that's a
that.
great
It's better
point.
to work with those live shopping agencies and going to their studios and renting out or even having a partnership with them. It hasn't crushed it yet for everyone. I know TikTok Shop and TikTok in general like investing a ton in this.
Yes.
If you ask me my opinion, I truly believe it should hit at certain point. When, I don't know.
I'm just
uh,
saying.
it's
Like
just yeah, it
I
should, and it's gonna be great. But at the same time, right now, I don't see so many um, signals that
yes.
confirm that it will. Though, like again, TikTok is incentivized crazy.
Yes.
Live shopping, not in
Yes.
general, but live shopping. So
Yes.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I know you know Brian Bloom. Brian, he does a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah, Brian, really good guy, and he's run some accounts for some really big brands, and they tried live shopping over and over and over again, and they just can't get it to hit. And I think the other challenge with live shopping is the synchronicity needed, right? Like with Incense, you can say, hey, here's what I want, blah, blah, blah. And then that
yeah,
influencer can record whenever they need to, whether it's a
yeah,
mom or a dad or a student or whatever. When they have the time to make the video, they can do it, versus live shopping requires a synchronicity of, one, I got to make sure that people are going to attend the live shopping. Two, I got to make sure that the influencer or the host of a live shopping has the time to do it. So I don't know. I share your exact same views. I mean, because I was the same thing with QR codes back in the day. QR codes just
yeah.
exploded in Japan, and now they're just they came around with COVID, and I was like, okay, this is it. If it makes it, it makes it. And then they just died off when COVID went away, and like the QR codes are like quasi coming back a little bit, but I was just so bullish on QR codes, and same with live shopping. And to your point, all the fundamentals for me are there, but
Yeah.
none of the market signals are matching up with my perception of the fundamentals. So it's this really
Yeah.
weird kind of thing in my head where it's like you said,
But
I think it's coming, but I don't know when, and that's not really. There's
but
a
you know,
go ahead.
maybe it's also a generational thing, because Gen Z, they are different. The way how they consume the content, the way how they want to be
That's fair.
advertised, they're different. And
It's,
maybe if we're going to be taking a look not on the holistic view on the everyone who is on
yep.
TikTok,
Yep.
so in that case, maybe it doesn't work. But if you're going to be take a look on the only Gen Z in the way how they're consuming the content,
Yep.
and if they are ready to pull the trigger and buy the some stuff like right away,
Yep.
or having the 1 week attribution, seeing that,
Yes.
oh, this person actually wore on my
That's
life,
fair.
but he
Yeah.
wasn't there ready to buy because I know, like waiting for the paycheck or
It was
whatever, right?
postponed or
But
paycheck,
then
yeah.
coming back and buying this, so maybe that was the impact of the live shopping, because this person actually stayed on the live shopping for 15 minutes, and then in a
That's a
week,
really good point.
this person actually got back and purchased. So I think we don't have enough data around that,
Yes.
but I truly believe that for Gen Z, it might work way better than for us, because
Yeah.
I'm definitely not the person who I don't have like 1 hour of my time just continue like being on the same life,
Yes.
and waiting like to hit the button when it's going to be
Yes.
the new drop that it's going to be tailored only for this live streaming.
That's a really good point.
I'm not this person, like maybe I'm old.
No, I'm the same way. But I'm gonna will my live shopping into existence, because I think, I mean, there's just such a there, especially with the technology and the bandwidth that has been happening. Because I mean, QVC is still massive here in the States. I mean, and this is old over the air TV, cable. You know what I mean? And it's a monster business. Granted, these products are like hearing aids and like things that are to the older demographics, that are the people that are sitting in front of the TV, but I just feel like people
it's the same
on the phones. It's the same. It's easier.
That's why I'm saying like it's the same. It's been like for years, like dozen of years here, and then TikTok Shop it's the same, but on a device of mobile. So it should work.
And the scale's way bigger than TV is, which is even crazier, right? So I don't know. I'm with you. Okay, Danil, one last question. What do you consider? What is your equation of excellence? What is excellence a function of to you?
The more I'm reflecting on this, the more I finding focus.
That's it.
To the point. You need to be focused. You need to nail down on what you need to be excellent at one thing. Once you feel that maybe you're not excellent, but you're great, you can move to another thing.
Yes.
But focus is everything. I'm so appreciate my team members, my head of growth, Manana, or my head of product, Emre, that I'm the man of opportunities. Whenever I'm seeing something, I want to learn. I want to understand how it works. But then they cut me and say like, dude, like here's the contract. Here's something that we agreed on. Let's make a decision. Are we going to be just pull it away and finding a new thing like what we're going to be working on, or are we going to stick with that? And then I found myself, no, we should stick. And then I'm just like, okay, calm down. We'll get there. So focus is everything.
I couldn't agree with you more. And honestly, I'm feeling that more and more in my life, where there's a great line that a focused idiot will beat an unfocused genius 10 out of 10 times.
100%.
And so I couldn't agree with you more, where focus drives clarity, and then you can go deeper. You can do these things that really drive things forward, versus when you're just everywhere, man. Unless that is your focus, to be everywhere, like a journalist or something like that, where it's like you're focusing on the thing that just looks like you're everywhere. I think focus is the number one thing that that's a beautiful answer, my man. Danil, this has been amazing. You're such a gem of a human. I love you. How can people get more involved in Incense? How do they sign up? This time's yours, my friend.
Sure. So first of all, if you found any value in my answers, please follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I'm still calling X as a Twitter.
Same.
Sorry for that.
You'll take it from my dead cold hands.
Worst
branding move ever from arguably one of the best branding guys ever. It's very paradoxical.
100%. But anyway, so you can find me. It's my name, Danil, and the last name Saliukov or Incense. So you can type it in and you can find me. So trying to share my knowledge, what I learned from customers from such a genius like Rabba and other folks in the space. But yeah, for instance, you can check it out our website. It's incense.pro. Where we're trying to also provide a lot of free ebooks, blogs, case studies, just providing more educational knowledge, following the guidance of HubSpot, one of the best B2B SaaS companies in the world that we are leveraging, and we advocates for them, but also trying to create this educational hub to learn more about how to work with UGC creators and micro-influencers. And yeah, just hit me up directly if you want to get like any special offers from our side. So like, yeah, hit me up, and ready to provide you with. And onboarding you myself, because I love talking to customers.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest misses, honestly, in B2B SaaS is people get so caught up in the data that they don't realize that there's actually people behind those numbers, and those people will actually give you much stronger and more meaningful insights than the actual data. So I love that you love to talk to customers. It's amazing. All right, folks, that's all we got. What else? We got an incredible newsletter goes out. When does it goes out? We switched the send, I think, to Thursday now. It's curated by the indomitable Alexa Kilroy. Geometry of Growth, fantastic newsletter. You can go sign up right at firmontcommerce.com. And then you can also go book a demo, make my boss happy at firmontcommerce.com. If you want to make funnels like you make ads, go here. We'll help you make the money printer go burr. Danil, dude, thank you so much for making time. Thank you for being so flexible on the scheduling and stuff. My schedule's been crazy right now, so I really appreciate you being so awesome about this. But go sign up for Incense, go follow Danil, go make all the money this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Rabba. Bye.